Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Now today I'm going to do something which, according to Tamsin, I haven't done before, which is to do a painting with a flat brush. And I usually use, as you know, I usually use for my paintings, no matter what the subject, I use a round brush. I've just recently acquired these Princeton Aqua Elites, which are really nice. And because they have a nice sharp point and everything, you can get lots of detail, and there's nothing wrong with those brushes. And anyway, I thought to myself, I need to do something a little bit more challenging. I want to challenge myself a little bit. So I woke up this morning thinking about flat brushes. Oh, it's a sad life, isn't it? So I've pulled out a selection of my flats here to have a quick look at with you. Now, a flat brush obviously is what it says. It's got a flat ferrule. In other words, the round ferrule that is on a brush like this and is the same all the way around because it's round, has been compressed, squashed flat to hold the hairs in a sort of flat format. This one is a 1/2 inch. When you want to see what size these brushes are, this is a 1/2 inch because the ferrule measures 1/2 inch across the base there. You don't measure it at the top because that might vary. This is a 1 inch, as you can see there, across the base. If you measured it at the top, it would be 1.5 inches, but it's not, it's 1 inch. This one, I think, is a 3/4 inch. Yeah, that's 3/4 inch. And that is a flat, but it's an angled flat. And that has particularly specific uses. And this is a 1/2 inch flat, a 3/4 inch flat as well. This one's from Zen Art. It comes in a set of 5, which you can find online. This one is by who? This is by who? By whom is this made? I cannot read it. Can you read that? Gold Sable Angular. That's what they call that, a Gold Sable Angular. It doesn't say what make it is. This one says a Gold Sable Series 800. I think they must be made by the same people. I have a feeling these are American. If anyone has got the same brushes and they know what make they are, do let me know. This is a Drawwell from my little man in Japan, Mr. Mayama, and that's what that is. And this one is a big one. This is a Hake or Hake brush, Ron Ranson Pro Art, made by Pro Art for Ron Ranson when he designed this. And this is the equivalent of this, but hairier, it's fatter. When it's wet, it does go into a much nicer sharp line when it's actually soaking wet. I'm not sure if I can make it do it. Hang on a minute. Dripping water all over the place. When these have been well used, you can acquire a sharp point. Not a sharp point, a sharp edge. But this one hasn't been used very much, so it doesn't really want to do it. But you can see I'm getting there. Anyway, enough blathering. The benefit of using a brush that's too big for a piece of paper is that it'll make you paint more loosely. So that's what I'm planning to do today. I'm going to use this one on a piece of paper which is A4 size, so that's about 20 by 30 centimeters, I think. And this is a piece of Canson Etival, Clairefontaine Etival paper by Canson. Canson is the biggest manufacturer of paper in Europe. They own Arches and pretty much everybody. I think they might even, I'm not going to say that, I don't know. But yeah, big company. So I'm going to sketch on here using, I'm going for big stuff today. This is a Polytechnic big fat lead here. You see how fat that is? So that will give me a nice loose drawing. And I'm going to use a photo that I found on the internet as a photo of a vase of flowers. And I'm just going to sketch it roughly. And I'm not going to draw any of the flowers. I'm just going to draw the outline of the bouquet. So it goes up into the top right like that. It's got various daisies here. I probably ought to show you the picture, come to think of it, since I don't know if you can see that. It's this picture here, and I'm simplifying it. So that's just literally a starting point. I'm going to simplify that. And one flower out here, a few leaves, and a leaf over here or two, and the daisies are down here, and then we've got the stems coming down into a jar, which is here. That's a bit too high. I'm going to I'm going to get a rubber, an eraser, and just rub that out because that's not quite right. I need some more stuff down here. Bring these in a little bit. And then I think you could say this is probably a milk bottle. And I'm going to put a lemon down here. Okay, so this is just a rough thing. And then I'm going to use my Kuretake set. Which is this one. But I won't be using very many colours on here. I'll probably be using the blue, ultramarine blue, that is. Olive green. Cadmium yellow. That wasn't a meaningful cough. That was just a clearing of the throat. Excuse me. That's, stop it, cobalt violet. And what else? Perhaps sap green deep. And having done that, you've got these here like this, and you can see what a nice range of colours that makes. That's a good palette to use for what we're going to do. So I'll just swatch those so we can see how well they go together. So that's ultramarine blue. That is olive green. This is cadmium yellow. That's cobalt violet. And this is sap green deep. So there's nothing jarring there about those colours. They work well together, I think. And so that's what we're going to use. I'll get rid of that. Now, put that there. And what I should do is I should wash my palette. Okay, so we have a sketch which has just got kind of outlines on it of where things are going to go. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by painting a little bit of background, so painting some negative shapes. So I'm going to come in from the top, and what I'm also going to do is get rid of that, because that's annoying, and paint round the outside edge of the picture. Add a bit of water, and I'm using the brush sideways on, so kind of painting with the corner of it, and coming down here I'll go round the bottle and round the lemon and just leave that all very loose, and then up here we'll go round, just kind of dashing in very slightly and lightly, and then bringing in some more water, like that. So I've basically surrounded my sketch with blue, light blue. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of the cobalt violet, and I'm going to just indicate loosely the flower shapes here, using again the corner of the side of the brush, and I put these mostly into where the paper is still dry, but somewhat, so like here for example, but it'll go over into where it's wet, so it'll run a little bit. And down here we're going to have a little flower sticking out like that. And we've got that one, and we'll put another one here, and maybe a little bit behind there. Not too much. That's the first layer. And then I'm going to wash my brush out and pick up some, this is olive green, isn't it? Olive green light. And then I can use the sharp edges, it's razor sharp really, the sharp edge of the brush we can use to do lines like this. So where the stalks come down into the water, we can do them like that. Just using the side of the brush. Not the side, the I think it's not the point, is it? It's the flat of the brush. Then up here we might have some stems going out like that, and then going back to the corner of the brush we might have some bigger leaves coming out like that. Might want it a little bit darker, can always add a bit of that green in. And thing is not to be too pernickety. And this particular photo had there's a photo of a live setup of a still life. It had a long leaf going out at the side there. But most of the rest of it I've made up. I like that long leaf, so I'll put that in. But most of the rest of this I'm just I'm making it up as I go along. And so we'll drop in some green dots in the background there. Maybe that could be something like Queen Anne's lace or whatever. And then just a couple of just almost like stenciling really. And here we've got daisies, so I'm just going to kind of go round where the daisies would be. And then I'm going to pick up some yellow and just put the centres of the daisies in. where I think they are going to look okay. Like that. And up here, perhaps there might be a bigger yellow flower, and maybe up here a bigger yellow flower too. Okay, and while I've got yellow on the brush, we'll paint the lemon. And then we'll go back to the green and add to some of these stems a little bit. Add a little bit to some of the undersides of the leaves, a bit slightly darker green, perhaps. And let's put some stems going up here. And now at this point, I'm going to switch back to the ultramarine blue, quite loose, quite weak. And I'm just going to go round where I forgot to put the yellow there, just where's that here? So just putting a little bit of very light shadow in around these flowers. Very light, very delicate. Okay, now back to the green, perhaps. And maybe we will take a few more stems up here. And another thing that you could do, which I'm going to do, is just drop in a few bits and pieces up here into the blue, and down here as well. Little, so like, I don't know, little small things. Strengthen up the green a little bit there. And now go back to the violet, still with the corner of the brush. Where it's dried a bit, you can make it a bit darker. Let's put one there as well. If you feel it doesn't look quite right, just put a bit more in. And then at this point, I think maybe we might want to just strengthen a little bit more negative painting around here. Strengthen the blue a little bit. The brilliant thing about the big brush, the flat, is that it removes your ability to be precise. So if you suffer from over tightness, try painting this way. Use a bigger brush than what you think you should. Okay. Right, having got to this point, I'm now going to do a radical thing, and I'm going to swap from that big brush to this crazy thing, which is a sword liner. You can get these from Rosemary & Co. I think they have quite a good range of these sword liners. I've got two here that are different sizes. One's a bit bigger than the other one. You can tell that from the handle, but more or less the hairs are more or less the same. It's quite long. This must be 1.5 inches at least. Yeah, I would say it's 1.5 inches. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do some calligraphic marks to delineate the shape of these here flowers. So I'm just going to very casually attempt to draw around the daisies, just so we can see where the petals are. Because as you know, it's always very difficult to paint white flowers. So we'll just make a virtue of this problem and turn it into something else. And then up here, we're going to start to play. Just putting in calligraphic marks. And I think I want some brighter, darker yellow. Also in the middle, I might need to just pick up a tiny bit of orange to darken the yellow a bit. There we go. And while I'm at it, I'll darken the lemon. A little bit more here in the way of it. You'll get some very lovely random shapes when you use this sword liner brush. And I think we need some little bit of dark up here. Trying to keep it really light and open. And we need some sharp contrasts, so consequently this brush is perfect for that. And a few more stems down here. Maybe I might just pick up a little bit of blue to go around the bottle. Okay. Another thing you could do, of course, is you can pick up some light colour and you can just drop in a few spatters. I think Charles Reed was the innovator when it came to spatters, wasn't he? Maybe we put a little bit more blue in there in the background just to darken that down a little bit. And I think it probably needs a leaf or two coming out here. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to say I'm not displeased completely with that. Give it a try, see what you think. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I used a flat brush and a sword liner brush and a very quick sketch using the Polytechnic, yes, pencil there. Information about what I used is in the description below the video, and I'll put a sketch of a bunch of flowers for you up on the website, on our dianeantone.com website, in the section where you can download the free sketches. So I'll put up a sketch, something similar to this for you to work from. So there we are, that's that one. And this is one I did earlier, so you can see same kind of thing based on the same photo of the flowers. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. So bye everybody, bye bye.